to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream for Monday, April 13th. It is tax week, my friends. Make sure you have your taxes done. April 15th is in 2 days. S&P futures down 21. NASDAQ is down 80. Russell is down 11. Dow's down 306. Dow looks like it's the weakest of the four. S&P and NASDAQ and Russell all down about 1/3%. After being down much more when the futures opened last night after the failure of the deal to go through in Pakistan with JD and the boys. Gold's down about 0.5%. Silver's down 3%. Notes and bonds and yields pretty flat. Oil is up 7.25, a little over $103 a barrel currently. Natural gas is up 2%. Soybeans is flat. Wheat is up almost 2%. Corn's up 0.5%. Euro and the pound both down about 0.25%. And Bitcoin down almost 3%. VIX plus 0.718%. Back above 20. 20.61 at the freeze. Futures getting a little bounce here into the open. NASDAQ is approaching Friday's lows. Before I get into any directional trades here, I'm going to be firing a 1 DTE Iron Condor via my bot. And then I will be placing a 3-4 double calendar that I will try to transform into a time machine. So I'll do both of those pretty close to the open here. My wife was out of town this weekend, and so I went head first into some Claude coding. I am now officially a Claude coder. My eyes hurt from all the Claude coding I did this weekend. But, wow, what an amazing tool. I'll show you guys what I've been building. It's kind of trying to build kind of basically a TradeZilla and a option trader's assistant all in one. That's what I've been working on. Yep, I went from signed up to built my own app within hours. It's crazy. A lot of stuff to still do on it, but I'm still having some issues getting the broker connections working the way I want them. Chris, the easiest thing to do, the way that I did it, is literally Claude just taught me how to do it. I just asked a lot of dumb questions, and it gave me all the answers, and I just kind of slowly figured it out. Yeah. All right, here's the opening bell. Talk more about that here in a little while, or before we jump off here. Biggest individual movers, SanDisk is up another 3%. CoreWeave up 2. Halliburton, PLTR, both green. They like the war. Some of the quantum names are red. Cryptos are red. Chips kind of in between, except for SanDisk, it's pushing. All right, let me model out my DCTM 34 DTE. All right, let's see where this thing is trading. The Russell is pushing, just pushed above previous day low. Same with the NASDAQ. Nice, Watson. What was the what expirations? All right, trying to get filled on my 3-4 here. Market's dipping a little bit. For some reason, my 1 DTE didn't fire. My bot won't, even manually, my bot won't fire my 1 DTE. Yeah, I don't know if it's, it might be a Schwab connection or something like that. I haven't seen any. Oh, looks like they just posted. Known issues. We're observing some issues with automation. Yeah. So give me a minute. I'm working my order on my 3-4 here, trying to get it filled. Might have to be a little bit more aggressive. Had I started out a little more aggressive, it probably would have already been filled. That's the cat and mouse game you play. All right. All right, DCTM posted. would like to get a 1 DTE on here. Let me try to just do it manually. Manual trading. Ugh. What is that? Okay. Get my 1 DTE filled. Price is coming down a bit. And then we'll flip over to some day trading here. All right, 1 DTE posted. All right, we got Tesla holding green just below its previous day high. Got AMD and AVGO went green. SNDK still acting the strongest. Intel strong as well. Intel's up 3%. Circle is pushing. It's the only crypto name that's really pushing. Bitcoin's coming down. Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. Yeah, thanks, Watson. Trump had posted last night that the United States to blockade ships entering or exiting Iranian ports on April 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I don't know if that will be really a kind of a binary time that we could see some shakeup, or that's just kind of the time when they head there. I don't know, but I don't think I'll do anything different due to that personally. Got some dips getting bought up here. Circle is pushing up 2.5%. SNDK holding strong. AVGO acting pretty strong. PLTR bounced off previous day high. Tesla kind of rejecting previous day high, Meta rejecting previous day close. SMH tried to go green, getting shut back down. Some of the chips coming down. AMD rejecting. I'm going to add some Intel INTC calls to my watch list. I would do the 65 calls. 4 DTE. Bitcoin's starting to bounce. Starting to see some buyers come in the indices. Nvidia pushing.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Coin popped.
Order filled.
Circle popped. Bitcoin bounced a little bit. Goldman had earnings before the bell. They're down over 4%. Intel's starting to pop back up. I'm going to pass on Intel, but it looks like it may want to rip. I want to see a little bit more out of the indices before I get too excited about anything on a Monday with everything going on. Meta still rejecting. Tesla staying green, trying to pop back up. Tesla kind of looking like it may want to push. Netflix dropping. It opened unchanged. It's down almost 1% now. Yeah, Intel was not able to push through highs of day. It's coming back down. 3-4 double calendar's always already shown some profit. S&P still just kind of grinding lower. Apple getting heavy. Amazon heavy. Meta heavy. Intel still coming down. It's coming back down to previous day high. Tesla's still just kind of holding, staying green. If this market can start going up, it looks like Tesla might be one to watch to the upside. S&DK rolled over, all the chips coming down. So on the upside, I'm watching Tesla and Intel. If things start to bounce, which the S&P and NASDAQ just did. All right, seeing some buyers come in now. Tesla did not push through highs. Intel didn't really bounce much. Chips starting to bounce. Meta bounced. There's Tesla through highs. Okay, now we're getting some
Order
buyers.
filled.
I'm going to load up some 355 calls in Tesla in case we get a retest of that previous day high. Now we're moving, kids. Now we're moving. Yeah, there goes Tesla. Intel's starting to bounce a little bit. S&DK popped right back up through highs. PLTR, big pop. Crypto's popping. What was the news? Anything? Anything of substance? My financial juice isn't loading. NASDAQ, Russell just went green. S&P about to go green.
Order filled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
S&P, NASDAQ, Russell all kind of pausing at previous day close. Yeah, my financial juice is out. No juice. No juice for me today. Nvidia's still pushing. Tesla pulling back a little bit. Apple back through lows. Meta, big rejection. Little whippiness going on here. Cryptos are super strong, even though Bitcoin's pulling back. Circle's up over 7.5% now. I'm watching these 355 Tesla calls. Watching Tesla. All right, I'm going to take Tesla calls. Getting a big volume bar. Still pushing. Really good relative strength versus some of these other indices and tech stocks. Nvidia's pushing as well. Nvidia, good relative strength versus SMH too. Put my first profit target in Tesla at 565. Netflix starting to bounce. Amazon trying to bounce. Google through highs. Studying abandoning uranium enrichment. Studying it. They're studying it. It's a new concept. You got to study that one. I haven't personally used Starlink, but I was actually just talking to my dad about it. He uses it in all kinds of areas in the Philippines and here, and he's a big fan. He doesn't use TOS though. All right, Tesla pulling back a little bit. IWM pushing. All right, so Tesla, pretty healthy little pullback here. Microsoft bouncing. Meta's all over the place. It's back up to unchanged, almost at highs of day. I might consider adding a little bit to Tesla here if it can pop back up with a little aggression. Also looking at the indices for continued strength. Nvidia's going beast mode. S&P, NASDAQ new highs. Russell's extending. Bitcoin up to highs. All right, I'm going to add some Tesla here. Filled at 478. Meta through highs. Big rebound. All right, Tezzy, your turn. You got to keep up here. Showed that early strength, but got to get back up. Get back up through highs. SMH going through highs. Big rebound in MU. SNDK is up 5.5%. Intel had that push, but it's just kind of chopping. PLTR ticked a new high after coming down to previous day high. Meta is now really pushing. Microsoft just broke previous day high. Tesla not continuing its relative strength yet. Apple is weak, coming through lows. Netflix back in the green. Google extending. Need Tesla to get back on that train. PLTR is really pushing now. Up to pre-market highs. S&P kind of dipping back in the red. All right, Tesla's starting to creep up. Let's see if we can hit a profit target here. I put my profit target at 550 in Tesla. All right, new highs in Tezzy. Come on, Tezzy. Looks like it got up to 550 but didn't fill. There's 545, 550. No fill. Hit it again. There we go. 550 filled. I'll put my next profit target at 625. Actually, let's bring that down to $6. Nvidia new high. Oh, nice, Watson. Yeah, 0 DTE should be printing well. Apple through lows. Apple can't catch a bid. Google raging, Nvidia, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla all pushing. I'll be back in 1 minute.
Order filled. Order partially filled.
All right, so Tesla hit that $6 profit target. So I've got 4 left. PLTR trying to push through pre-market highs. Intel never took off after that initial 5-minute surge. Looking like that $6 profit target was a good idea in Tesla. I originally had it at 620, but it only got up to 610 before this pullback. Tesla kind of rejecting with some volume. This volume bar is going to get higher than the first on this push and reject. S&P still just kind of pausing at previous day close, whereas the NASDAQ and Russell are in the green a little bit more. Crypto's still staying strong. Circle's still near highs, up 7.5%. MSTR's green. Coin's up 2.25%. Hood's up 1% after starting red. I'm not going to add to Tesla, but looks like it may want to make another run here. Meta back in the red. Google staying strong. Apple finally starting to bounce. Apple's just marching to the beat of its own drum. As usual. All right, I really wanted to see Tesla bounce here to hold my remaining contracts. Intel dipping again. Microsoft pulling back to previous day high. Had a little mighty 90 volume action on that push up. Tesla's still dipping a little bit. Amazon, big rollover. All right, I'm going to cut Tesla. Too big, too aggressive of a dip for me. So that ended up really just being a smaller winner. I mean, I was smaller half size because it's Monday. That's kind of, at least my first trade on Monday, I like to go smaller. But winner. Green nonetheless. Banks trying to rebound a little bit, except for Goldman, which had earnings. Intel trying to hold previous day high. Django, yeah, you got to on the spread, you got to take that off double diagonal and put it on custom, and then you can change those. It's kind of a pain. It's an issue with toss, but yeah, when you have that monthly expiration with the AMs, you got to change the spread to custom, and then you can change those to the PM. Tesla's still coming down. Finding a little cues back in the red. I don't know if you want to eliminate them, but that's how you change them in your order on the spread. Yep, yeah, that's just a little quirky thing. I don't know why Toss won't let you do that without flipping it to custom, but yeah, that's the workaround. Tony, does your I don't use TradingView anymore, but yeah, SPX data should work in TradingView. Oh, there's issues today with it. I see. On TOS, SPX opening print would be shows 6806.47. 6806.47. 3-4 double calendar showing some profit here. Not enough to transform yet. Tesla big reversal. Microsoft rollover.
Order
Meta
filled.
big reversal.
Order filled.
IWM not dipping as much as the Nasdaq or the S&P. So getting a nice little trend line here on Intel. I'd still be interested in taking some Intel calls. I've got the 65s loaded. Watching Intel. I'm going to take Intel calls. Filled at $1.65. See if we can get some momentum back up to highs of day in Intel here. SMH starting to bounce back up. SNDK bouncing. Some of the chips bouncing. See if Intel can ride some of this chip strength. S&DK just popped through new highs. Microsoft trying to get back above previous day high. Indices starting to try to go green again. PLTR starting to bounce. Tesla trying to hold previous day high. Little rejection on the indices. Yeah, Goog pulling back right down to previous day close, pre-market high, kind of the same level. AVGO starting to bounce. S&DK still strong. Intel, no follow through after it kind of broke that trend line. Intel dipping a little bit. S&P looks like it wants to go. Like it wants to go again. PLTR, big rebound. Microsoft reclaiming previous day high. Bank of America and JP Morgan trying to rebound. Tesla holding previous day high. All right, gonna need to bounce out of Intel here, otherwise I'm gonna cut. SNDK still pushing. Now it's up 6%. SMH has been pretty choppy, really just within its first 5-minute bar, but keeps acting like it wants to break out to the upside. Just below unchanged on the day. Microsoft, nice rebound back up towards highs. No bounce out of Google yet on this pullback. Crypto's moving again. Bitcoin just kind of chopping under highs, but MSCR coin, hood, circle, all pushing back up. Intel, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Got some buyers on some other stuff. You could jump on that train if you want. SNDK is really the only, well, NVIDIA too. SNDK and NVIDIA, kind of the two chip stocks that are pushing. S&P trying to go green again.
Order filled.
New high in the Russell. PLTR about to break highs. S&P getting close to highs. Tesla trying to bounce again. Intel, little baby bounce. See if we can get some legs here. S&DK through that pullback Friday held strong. Now it's ripping again above 908. It hit today, new all-time high. PLTR couldn't push through highs of day. Bitcoin just went through highs. Intel still trying to bounce. SMH close to going through highs of day. We need to get a chip rip. Just an all-out chip rip.
Order filled.
S&P and NASDAQ just kind of chopping around unchanged. Intel starting to bounce. Put my first profit target in Intel at $1.86. It's below highs of day. Nice bounce though. Russell almost got up to previous day high. I'm going to take, I'm looking at the 681 0 DTE SPY calls. if it starts to pop back up, I'm gonna take some of those. 681.0 DTEs. I think we could pop up to previous day high and SPY. Watch and SPY. Okay, I'm going to take some SPY calls. Filled at 58 cents. See if we can make a quick pop through highs. Maybe even up to previous day high. Quick move up to previous day high would be beautiful. Articulate. So favorites as far as like specific front and back expiration combos. Is that what you mean? I'm trying to think through that. Because if you're doing Friday, Monday combos, you're gonna have you'd almost have to have a favorites for each day of the week. You know what I mean? Like today's Monday, and so there's the 4-7 that's available, or the 11-14 if you're looking at Friday, Monday combos. And then of course today it's going to be a 3-6, 10-13. So I'm not sure exactly how that would work. All right, Intel is got a nice bounce going. Hasn't hit profit target yet. I need S&P to rip through highs. I guess you could do something like this week's Friday Monday combo, next week's Friday Monday combo, or something like that as kind of a quick add. But I'm not sure about the watch list just because they change every day. All right, Intel hitting $1.86. Partial fill. There we go, filled. Nice little bounce. If we get a nice push and a vol crush, I'm going to be looking at a April 24, 27 double calendar. I've had it modeled up. I've had this one modeled up this morning, and it's a little bit underwater from the price that I have it locked at. So if we get a nice little another vol crash and push, and SPX pushes, and then we get a nice little vol crash, I'll be looking at entering one of those. I'm going to put a profit target to scale out of some of those SPY calls at 70 cents. If we get another little push through highs. SMH finally breaking out to the upside. AVGO breaking out. SPY hit 70 cents. I just sold a third of my SPY contracts on that first profit target. I'm looking for more. I want more. I put another profit target in Intel at 210. Would need to get through highs of day to hit that. SMH is pushing now. SNDK still ripping. SMCI big rebound. Hondo, did you get back in Intel with me? Bitcoin popped up above previous day low. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, personally, I'd rather cut it and then re-enter. As to put, I don't know where you got in or anything like that, but holding through too much heat is not really a good practice. Ask me how I know. SMCI kind of getting some legs here. S&P ticked through highs, kind of pausing. MSTR is pushing. No, SPY, I'm on the 0 DTE 681s. which we kind of pulled back here. I may reload if we start to. Actually, I'm going to add back in a few. Right here at previous day close, filled some at 56 cents. I'll try to close that add out. If we bounce back up towards highs, I'll put that at 68 cents. Intel kind of pausing. Need another run out of Intel. Apple's still weak. Nvidia still super strong. It's green now. Microsoft still holding above previous day high. Meta's reversal still staying weak. Amazon just sideways. Still looking for a surge out of S&P here. Bitcoin, a little pullback to previous day low. Nvidia, new highs. That thing is on a mission. PLTR just pushed through highs. S&P close to filling to close that add. If we can get up to 68 cents. Just did a little scalpy add while I'm waiting for this thing to explode. PLTR is really pushing now. Microsoft just ripped through highs. Tesla's still just kind of chopping right at previous day high. All right, there's that fill and SPY at 68 cents to close that ad. My 1 DTE is down. It's down about almost $500 on a 3 lot. All right, there's a push. Another push through highs in SPY. NASDAQ just ticked a new high as well. Intel still just kind of pulling back a little bit after that 15-minute pop it had. Didn't quite make it through highs of day yet. All right, SPY making new highs. I put my next profit target at 90 cents. Intel still kind of dipping. All right, here's a decent push. Getting close to 90 cents. Filled. MU's starting to bounce. Amazon's starting to bounce. Microsoft extending. Nvidia extending. Tesla big bounce. Bitcoin extending. Intel not participating in this bounce. All right, getting a little dip coming in. I'm gonna cut the rest of my Intel. Filled at $1.6364. Watching SPY, I may add back in a little bit on that one. Yeah, I'm going to add some SPY here. Filled at 70 cents. I'll flip those out at 85 cents if we push back up towards highs. Bank of America and JP Morgan about to go green after being well in the red. Goldman, which is still down 3%. Decent little push. All right, I'm going to wrap the stream, a little bit longer stream than normal today. I'll finish off my S&P, my SPY 0 DTE calls in the trade channel. I've got, let's see, I think I've got 20. Yeah, I've got 20 on right now after that little ad. I really, if price goes below previous day close, I'll definitely be out. With 0 DTE, even holding through a pullback that deep is going to put me into the red. But I just kind of like the dips as long as we hold above that area for new highs, potentially up to previous day high. So that's kind of what I'm playing for here. But I'll update in the trade channel. Had a winner in Intel, had a winner in Tesla, and so we'll see what happens in SPY. All right, all. Have a good one. See you in Power Hour.